How you boys doing? Welcome back to the channel. I just want to bring something up. This come to my attention lately. So recently, the UFC and all of them lot, they've been trying to promote Illia Topuria as the next big thing. And you know what? He probably will be the next big thing because he's naturally the next big thing. They're not like forcing him on us like it's Sean O'Malley. But I've been seeing this notion that he has the best back-to-back wins. Because obviously, Illia Topuria has beaten Alexander Volkanovski, knocked him out stiff clean first round. Beating the shit out of Max Holloway, played his own game, boxed him up, knocked him the fudge out for the first time. And when you look at it in hindsight, I might have to agree with those people. You know what? I do believe that he does have the best win. Like, come on, it is the fudging the number one pound for pound. Alexander Volkanovski, by the time he fought him, he was number three pound for pound. Like, obviously, we're talking about a big schlong guy, a guy with a big schlong. Like, obviously. But I just want to bring this up. There's another individual which has way better wins, way better back-to-back wins, and I have some, and that's unfortunately the guy is Islam Makhachev. Doesn't have a nickname, does he? But it's Islam Makhachev. He beats Bobby Green to get this shot. Obviously, that's a shit compared to what we're going to try to talk about, right? So he comes in and he's in Abu Dhabi, his homeland. Yes, he's in his homeland. Well, what else do you want to do about it? He's in his homeland. He's going to fight Charles do Bronx Oliveira. He is on an 11-fight win streak, 10 finishes. He's only won, the decision that went to was the Tony Ferguson. And at that time, you could not fucking finish Tony Ferguson. You couldn't stop him. You couldn't do anything with it. Pound for pound number 3. 2 title defenses. Beats Michael Chandler for the title. He finished Dustin and Genji faster than Khabib ever did. He was dominant. And the guy was an animal. His BJJ game was slick, dangerous, and people going into that fight thinking that it's, oh my gosh, it's an even fight. It's just going to happen. And if you do watch that fight back, it's a way closer than you remember it. I'll tell you that right now. It's way more closer than you remember it. But at the end of the day, Islam still knocked him down, went to side control, from side control, he went to full mount, and he got the arm triangle, and he tapped him out. What a win. Yes, it wasn't Islam's home ground. Even though he didn't deserve it, it still wasn't Islam's home ground. Can't lie about it. And you guys can't be like, oh, Charles was not the same. Charles was actually supposed to be even better because he had an eye surgery, which most people always forget. He actually had an eye surgery which made him see people better. He used to see 3 people when he should shoot down the middle. Now he actually sees them. So maybe that's the thingy, but I can only see it going towards Charles' way. But that's not an excuse. And then after that, for his first title defense, he fights Alexander Volkanovski, the 145-pound champion. He is the pound for pound number 1. He is the best version of himself. He has 4 title defenses at the time. He's beat Max Holloway 3 goddamn times. It's Alex's home ground in Sydney, Australia. No, Perth, Australia. Alex was the biggest in that fight, so you can't say none of that shit that, oh, Alex was coming up a weight. Most of the time when fighters come up a weight, they win. Max Holloway's one of his best performances was that Justin Genji fight. He came up the weight and he beat the shit out of him. He had enough rule, he had enough time and everything. And Islam was actually his weakest. Islam was actually his smallest. This is just due to Australians' IV rules, how he can't use any IV. And he was a bit weight drained. He was his smallest version. And we saw the opposite when it was Islam's home ground. Islam was the biggest. Volkanovski was the smallest. It kind of just finished in the first round. But obviously, it's not the same because, he wasn't fit. But you get what I mean. That is a dangerous back-to-back wins. We'll talk about the animal, the phenom, Charles do Bronx Oliveira. And we'll talk about a dangerous man himself, the dangerous pound for pound number 1 at the time, Alexander Volkanovski. And then Topuria comes in, amazing win, beats Josh Emmett, completely annihilates him. I think he gets a 10-7 round. I think the fifth only happened 5 times in the UFC record. Pretty good. However, he does only have the second best, just because Charles Oliveira and Alex Volkanovski is way better than a Volkanovski that he fought. I think it was a 4-month turnaround after he had been knocked out via head kick by this guy called Islam Makhachev. Are we serious right now? Like, come on. Like, are we serious right now? Volkan was weakened, obviously. Volk didn't rest properly because he's Volk. However, what I do have to say is that Max win is a beast win. It's a dangerous win. It might even be potentially better than the... No, it's not. It's a beast win. It is his best win. In my opinion, it's his best win. Because Max Holloway came up. He went down. I don't want that as He's been made 145 his whole career. He's young. He was 32. There's none of that bullshit. Many people thought he was going to lose that fight. He still was the favorite. I know this is a quick one, but let me just think up in there. DDP also is up there for one of the best back-to-back wins. He beats Sean Strickland, who which completely annihilates Adesanya, and then he beats Adesanya, which couldn't also be, but he's up there with the best three wins because he beats Robert Whitaker, knocks him out in the second round. Sean Strickland, Adesanya, pretty good. However, the Adesanya one's a bit weak because of the Sean Strickland. I also think Triple C is up there. He beat TJ Dillashaw, but TJ Dillashaw was coming down the weight class, which obviously isn't the same, which I do have to agree with. He's not strong enough. And then he beats Johnson, which was road robbery, but still beats him. These are good wins. TJ Dillashaw, arguably the bantamweight goat. And Johnson, the featherweight, flyweight goat. Another one is GSP, one of the greatest of all time. BJ Penn, Matt Hughes. You get what I mean? But hey, I just wanted to spill my tea on that, put my information in, what I think. I think, very obviously, that Topuria does not have the first best win. He does not have the best back-to-back wins. It's unfortunately and fortunately Islam Makhachev, the most dominant champion that we have that we have in the UFC right now. All right, adios.